Ladies and gentlemen, good day and welcome to the Q2 FY22 earnings conference call of Pioneer Embroideries Limited, hosted by Kirin Advisors. As a reminder, all participant lines will be in the listen-only mode, and there will be an opportunity for you to ask questions after the presentation concludes. Should you need assistance during the conference call, please signal an operator by pressing star then 0 on your touchtone phone. Please note that this conference is being recorded. I now hand the conference over to Mr. Varsifal Shah from Kirin Advisors. Thank you, and over to you, Mr. Shah.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. I would like to welcome Mr. Harshvardhan Basti, Managing Director of Pioneer Embroideries Limited, Mr. Saurabh Maheshwari, Executive Director of the company, and Mr. Deepak Sipani, CFO of the company. Harshji, over to you, sir.
Thank you, Varsifal. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My colleagues Saurabh Maheshwari, Deepak Sipani, and I welcome you to the Q2 FY22 conference call. So I will give you a brief overview of the H1, and then followed by Deepak, who will delve more into the financial side and the numbers, and then we can take it up from there. So we started FY22 on a healthy note. The first wave had taught us many lessons actually, and as a result, we could manage the subsequent waves in a much better manner. We initiated many strategic decisions which helped us carry our business activities more successfully than earlier. Second quarter also witnessed many developments of macro nature, which threw up both challenges and opportunities. While the unprecedented rise in crude oil prices led to sharp rise in the key raw materials, however, we were able to pass a large part of this rise via our selling price and maintain our PAT and EBITDA realization. Crude oil prices, along with other factors, also drove up the logistics costs, which impacted our exports. However, due to the inherent nimbleness of our processes and the way of doing business, we were able to divert our business to domestic market. And we actually clocked a growth of 65% in our domestic market. And, the numbers have been much better than comparable numbers as well on half-yearly basis and quarter-to-quarter. So, which was really good, and which proved that our business model is extremely resilient. We have the coal prices are also rising, as you all know, but the good part is that we are based in Himachal Pradesh, where most of the power is hydro-based. So we haven't faced any challenges such as power cuts or cost rise compared to the companies situated in the states where most of the power is coal-based. So we expect the same to continue, and we will have an added advantage over the competition. The other thing when I spoke about opportunities is that the higher logistics cost in another way also benefited us in terms of restricting imports. So this led to some solid support, not only for us, but for other players as well to the domestic market, and enabled us all to earn better realization. Our embroideries and lace business has also seen wide acceptance in international market. And the domestic market also followed suit. Typically, the fashion, the domestic also sort of copies the international trend. So as a result, our embroidery and lace business registered a 73% growth rise in exports and a 60% rise in domestic sale for Q2 FY22. On August 15, I also wanted to update you that on 15th of August, we launched our latest ready-to-wear collection on our revamped online portal for our brand Hakoba. So our portal hakoba.in, we launched our ready-to-wear collection, which saw excellent response. And we continue to come up with new collections using this our own portal as well as the other online channels where we are present. We had also announced an expansion to our yarn business. It was a 6,000 ton addition to our capacity. So the update is that we've already ordered we placed the order for the machinery. Construction work is in full swing, and we are absolutely on track with our timeline. We've had a very strong H1, and the outlook for H2 also remains positive, and therefore we are hoping to match the absolute EBITDA overall for the year. We are focused on growth, and assure you that we will continue to perform better with an upward bias. In addition, we are leveraging opportunities in home and technical textiles, and we are all set to cater to the rising demand in these sectors. Now I hand over the floor to Mr. Deepak to share company's financial performance details. Over to you, Deepak.
Thank you, Harji. Good afternoon, everyone. Pleasure to present the financial performance of Pioneer Embroideries Limited for Q2 FY22. Pioneer Embroideries revenue in Q2 FY22 saw a sharp jump of 44% to rupees 765 million on year-on-year basis. And absolute EBITDA registered an impressive increase of 35% to rupees 78 million. As spoken by Harji, the notable development in the current quarter was the rise in both sales price and raw material price in our SPFI business because of the increasing crude oil prices. The SPFI business accounts for over 85 to 90% of our total business. Despite high logistic cost, we were able to protect our contribution per ton in the SPFI business by tweaking our customer base more towards domestic market. So while our export reduced, our overall EBITDA remained less impacted. Finance cost for Q2 FY22 reduced to rupees 6.5 million from rupees 12.1 million on year-on-year basis. This led to improved profit margin. PAT was at rupees 37 million as against rupees 24 million year-on-year basis. Revenue in H1 FY22 increased by 84% to rupees 1,428 million and EBITDA doubled to rupees 147 million on year-on-year basis. On a half-yearly basis, the EBITDA margin expanded by 90 bps to 10.3%. PAT grew 8 times to rupees 68 million from 8 million, while PAT margin is high at 4.7% compared with the negligible PAT margin of 0.9% in H1 FY21. Business-wise performance. The company maintained good quality capacity utilization. Volume in H1 FY22 in SPFI business were at 7,955 metric ton and grew by 58% over year-on-year basis. And volume in Q2 FY22 in SPFI business witnessed growth of 20% to 4,150 metric ton from 3,469 metric ton. The production of SPFI business saw 25% growth to 4,167 metric ton on year-on-year basis. For the reported quarter, rupees 63 million revenue contributed by SPFI business, which saw a growth of 42% year-on-year basis. And embroidery and lace business contributed revenue of rupees 102 million on an increase of 66% on year-on-year basis. Domestic business in Q2 FY22 grew by 65% to rupees 662 million, which is 86% of total revenue of Q2 FY22. Embroidery and lace business saw a strong export demand and grew by 73% over last year. Overall exports for Q2 FY22 were down by 20% to rupees 103 million, primarily because of 29% decline in SPFI business, as I already explained. Domestic business in H1 FY22 grew by 115% to rupees 1,238 million year-on-year basis, which is 87% of the total revenue of H1 FY22. Overall export of H1 FY22 were down by 6% to rupees 190 million, primarily because of about 12% decline in SPFI export to rupees 168 million. Now we open the floor for question and answer session. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We will now begin the question and answer session. Anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and 1 on the touchtone telephone. If you wish to remove yourself from the question queue, you may press star and 2. Participants are requested to use handsets while asking a question. Anyone who would like to ask a question, please press star and 1 at this time. Ladies and gentlemen, we will wait for a moment while the question queue assembles. Anyone who would like to ask a question, you may press star and 1. The first question is from the line of Apurva Mehta, an individual investor. Please go ahead.
Hello, good afternoon. Hello.
Yes, you're audible.
Go
Good
ahead,
afternoon.
Mr. Mehta.
Hello.
We can hear you, Mr. Mehta. Please go ahead with your question.
Yeah. So my first question is, what are the developments on Hakoba front? Hello. Hello.
Yes, you're audible.
Mr.
Please carry on.
Hello.
I
Can you
believe
hear me?
he's done with his question. Yes, Mr. Mehta, we can hear you. Can you please repeat your question for us?
Yes. So my first question is, what are the developments on Hakoba front, and how was the reported quarter for retail business?
Thank you, Mr. Mehta. The latest development for Hakoba was that we activated our the web presence via our website hakoba.in with a mirror store on Amazon as well, and while we explore the other online marketplaces. The other new developments were that first time after many years we went back into ready-made. So we started a ready-to-wear collection, as I mentioned earlier in my opening address. And 15th of August, we launched our ready-to-wear collection, and then subsequently it is being followed by winter, new ranges for winter, new trends and festive wear and all that will follow as, as part of our ongoing retail strategy. We also launched collections with which are 100% organic, which saw a good demand. Now, as far as the numbers are concerned for the quarter, I would not often be able to give you the exact numbers, because right now, since the earlier it was a soft launch and then we revamped and everything, so practically it is from 15th August. It's just been about a couple of months since it went live. So right now we are experimenting and seeing, trying to track what all the customers are liking, and the entire data part of it, and how to attract more customers and all that. So probably we will be in a much better position to answer this question by end of this year. Retail takes time. So right now we are just building up the tempo, and we would be able to give you these numbers next time.
Okay. Sir, so how was the response for the launch?
It was good. The response was good, and in fact we had a lot of response from outside India customers as well, especially from the US, which prompted us to get into logistics arrangement with one of the companies for international shipments, and which should start by end of this month. So as of now, all these signals are extremely positive. People have actually come back. Some even made videos of new styling, and we are coming up with a few competition where we are trying to get people also to style some garments based on the fabrics that we have. So all that is getting us a lot of traction.
Okay, sir. So what are the expansion plans for the Hakoba?
Go forward, we plan to actually, on a larger scale, we will end up having a few experience stores, 5 to 7 experience stores across the country in the larger centers. But primarily, the growth would be driven by the online foray, as well as a distribution network, which would be right on the existing Pioneer distribution network that we have, plus as well as the multi-brand outlet stores. So that is a larger strategy, and our focus would be on online and brand building. We would be actively using social media. We've just about started. 1 month we've been doing on our own, and now we are engaging with a few social media agencies who specialize in this. And in this, we should be finalizing a good social media partner very soon.
Okay. So what is the status of expansion that have announced?
The expansion that was announced was for our yarn business. So that will add about 6,000 tons to the existing capacity, and we are at 18,000 tons right now, and we actually 8,000 tons, so we go up to 26,000 tons. And the latest status is that we've already placed the orders for the machinery and as I mentioned, and the construction has already started. It's in full swing, and we are absolutely on track for all the timelines that have been announced.
Okay. So, sir, when will plant will be orientational, sir?
January 23 is when we are the date for going commercial.
Okay, sir. Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, you may press star and 1 to ask a question. Anyone who would like to ask a question, you may press star and 1. The next question is from the line of Apurva Raj from KPR Capital. Please go ahead.
Yeah. What is the ratio between increase in raw material prices versus increase in sales prices? I mean, what is the proportion?
Saurabh, you want to take that?
Hello?
Yeah, Ajay. Yeah, Mr. Apurva, can you please repeat ratio between the raw material price rise and the selling price?
Yes. Increase in selling price.
So normally it is 1:1 only. Like if 10 rupees goes up in the raw material, 10 rupees goes up in the selling prices also.
So no other additional cost added to the sales price when raw material prices go up?
No. When the raw material price goes up, raw material includes polymer, includes colorants also, includes packing material also. So whatever costs are going up, we are trying to increase that in the selling prices. So normally it is 1:1. That's what the ratio.
Okay. No. There's a raw material prices plus you have a processing cost plus you have any other cost on the other expenses side. So
Yeah.
I'm asking if raw material prices goes up by 10%, so straightforward on sales prices also go with 10% or in absolute it's 10 rupees per kg increase or 10 rupees per unit increase in the raw materials or 10 rupees per unit increase in sales price? How it goes?
Yeah. It is 10 rupees per unit increase in the raw material prices. So 10 rupees per kg goes up in the selling prices.
Okay.
It's not in percentage terms.
Not adding the increase in increasing cost for operating cost and anything other than raw material.
Yeah, if there is an increase, then we add it, but there is not really too much of an increase in the compared to last quarter. There is not too much of an increase in the operating expenses this quarter. It is only the raw material cost which has gone up, and so we have passed on the raw material cost increase to the customers in the form of increase in selling prices.
Okay. And do you really see any raw material price decrease in the coming future?
Yeah, it is already started.
Near-term future.
Yeah, it has already started. When the increase was too much, and now the prices have softened a little bit. But yeah, it is very difficult to predict because if crude stays strong, then the prices are going to stay at these levels. But crude, when it changes course by one statement of Mr. Biden or one move taken by OPEC, the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries. So it all depends on how it fares. I mean, it's very difficult to predict. But yeah, as per the statement of Saudi Arabia and the way Aramco increased the crude oil pricing day before, we expect that it continues to stay strong in line with other commodity prices also. I think everything is going up nowadays.
Okay. So as you mentioned, the prices have already started cooling off.
Little bit, very little. Like if it has gone up by 20%, so we have seen a reduction of maybe 2 to 3%. No, that's nothing.
Okay. No, but in case, let's say there is a good amount of cooling off in those raw material prices, then are you also going to reduce your sales prices?
Yeah. The yarn business is always like this. It goes hand in hand with the raw material pricing. So definitely it is done. I mean, if it is not done by us, it is done by competition, and then we have to follow. So as a prudent business practice, we also do it upfront in line with the raw material pricing.
And other than yarn businesses?
Other than yarn business is embroidery business. I think there we don't want to, exactly link it with the raw material price. That is too much of a specialty item for us.
So there the raw material prices doesn't matter. It's just that the sellable capability of a company is more important.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. And which businesses? I suppose for you the embroidery business is a value-added business.
Yes, of course it is. It adds much more value.
Yeah.
To the
So in future, what could be the best possible ratio between yarn business and the embroidery business?
Ratio as in terms of the turnover?
Yes, turnover ratio.
So, see, there's two very different things. The ticket size in yarn is much higher because you're selling much larger quantities vis-a-vis embroideries where you go by per meter and all that. And as Saurabh mentioned, embroidery is 100% value addition. But at the same time, the yarn business also that we do, we push more towards value addition. We don't particularly push for basic yarn business at all. I think almost at 68% of all the production that we do is all value addition. So in terms of the way we see going ahead, I think ratio would remain largely about 60-40 or 70-30 going to the larger ticket size, because in embroidery in itself, the ticket size is inherently much smaller.
Okay. Thank you very much. That's it from my side.
Thank you, Mr. Poole.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone who would like to ask a question, you may press star and 1. The next question is from the line of Yashwanti Kherkar, an individual investor. Please go ahead.
Hello. Good afternoon, sir. I just wanted to understand.
Sorry to interrupt you, Ms. Kherkar. Your audio is not very clear. I would request you to please check the phone line.
Yeah, I just wanted to understand how is the demand out of signing up for the HDFI business? This is my first question. And secondly, we now have 15 guys just ready to wear things in Hakoba online session. So why we have missed out the important occasions for Diwali? That could have been where the major sales happen as far as the fabric goes. So this are two good.
I have to repeat the question. I could hear in bits and pieces actually. One was demand of HDFI. Yeah, you'll have to be a little bit louder, ma'am. Please.
Yeah, so I just wanted to ask you, what is the outlook for the HDFI business? This is my first question. And secondly, when we are going on an online sales for the Hakoba brand, so why we missed out on the Diwali? Why we are coming out on the Diwali?
We didn't particularly miss out on Diwali, actually. Diwali time also the new collections were being launched, but you basically have to understand that when you are doing an online product launch, the number of pieces when you launch, typically the strategy that you follow is the test and run. So you first test the product, and then if the traction is good enough, then you dig deeper into larger quantities, and that is followed globally, even for the biggest. I don't want to take names, but biggest of the online portals. Since we work with cross section of brands in our other business, supplying them embroideries and bases. Typically, for the biggest of the portal, when you're launching a product, they launch with about 100 to 150 pieces per style. So it is not that. So when you right now, what we're doing is, since we entered in this space after many years, to best of memory, I think the last time we did this ready to wear was almost 2007 or something. 7, 8 is still that time we were doing it. After that, we didn't do it. So right now we are trying to find the right mix. Like I said in answer to an earlier question from Mr. Mehta, that this is the time right now we are, seeing what is attracting the customer, trying to read the customer and trying to know the Hakoba woman again, how she reacts to the new styling and all that. Hakoba typically has been associated with fabrics, and it's a very, very strong brand connect and huge brand recall. But the typical connect was with 45, 40 year plus kind of a situation, a person who's confident, who can spend money and do all that. While right now the demographics have changed, the sense and sensibility of fashion has changed. It's not about trends and whatever anyone likes or you style it well, sells well. So that is what we're trying to do. So we absolutely didn't miss Diwali. In fact, we are also looking at Holi. We might come up with a white on white collection for Holi, just for people to enjoy the color by on absolute pristine white garment. So we've not missed it, but we are absolutely cognizant of the seasons and the opportunities as they come along. And then I think second question was related to the outlook for the SPFY segment, right? The sales. Am I correct? Okay, sir.
Ms. Ketia, please confirm if you can hear us.
Yeah, that's also please, sir.
Yeah. Saurabh, you want to give your take on that, please?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, ma'am, the outlook is very bright, and we foresee a lot of opportunities coming our way. That's why we are expanding our capacities from 18,000 tons per annum to 26,000 tons per annum. So the outlook is positive. The main factor for us, which is supporting our outlook, is the PLI scheme, which is announced by the Government of India, which stipulates 85% of the fiber used has to be man-made fiber for all the products which are covered in technical textiles, or be it the garments. So that will give a very big push to the man-made fiber industry. And along with that, the anti-China sentiment which is prevailing all over the world, in India we are getting a lot of inquiries from exports also, and that's how we are very positive about the growth in SPFI business.
Any other question, Ms. Ketia? There seems to be no response on the line, so we'll move to the next question. Before we do that, we would like to remind all the participants, if you wish to ask a question, please press star and 1. The next question is from the line of Apurva Mehta, an individual investor. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Hello, sir. I have few more questions. My question is, how much time will it needed to pass on the price hike to customers?
Yeah, Mr. Mehta, how much time?
Yeah. How much time did it needed to pass?
Oh, it's a weekly price change. So every Saturday or every Monday we are announcing our price lists.
Okay.
So it's immediate. It's almost immediate. In value-added items as such, where the order book is large, then we are covering our raw material at the same prices when we are booking those orders. So as such, the price rise is immediate.
Okay. So what is the order book currently do you have?
It's around 3 weeks. But as I said, the raw material is fully covered. I mean, considering the order book, we are also placed our orders for raw materials or having raw materials in stocks.
Okay. Yeah, that's all from my end. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mehta.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, you may press star and 1 to ask a question. Anyone who would like to ask a question, you may press star and 1. As there are no further questions from the participants, I now hand the conference over to Mr. Vastupal Shah for closing comments.
Thank you everyone for joining the conference call of Pioneer Embroideries Limited. If you have any queries, you can write us at research@clearingadvisors.com. And once more, many thanks for everyone from the management team and the participants for joining the call. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. On behalf of Kirin Advisors, that concludes this conference. Thank you for joining us, and you may now disconnect your line.